Jeffrey Epstein. Documents linking associates to sex offender unsealed. Numerous court documents identifying associates of notorious sex offender Jeffrey Epstein were made public on Wednesday. Some of the high-profile names in the court documents include Prince Andrew, the former U.S. President Bill Clinton, Michael Jackson and David Copperfield. These associates' just unsealed names were contained in court documents filed as part of Epstein accuser Virginia Giuffre's lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell. The documents include excerpts of depositions and motions in this case. The British socialite was convicted in December 2021 of sex trafficking and similar charges for procuring teen girls for disgraced financier Epstein. Prior to the unsealing, the names were listed in court papers as variants of J. Doe. Many of the names are people who had been publicly identified as Epstein associates prior to this unsealing. The inclusion of a name in this list does not mean that said associate has been accused of wrongdoing in relation to Epstein. Among the names are people mentioned in passing at legal proceedings. In a deposition, Maxwell appears to say that Andrew visited Epstein's island in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Epstein has been accused of abusing numerous girls on this island. Were you present on the island when Prince Andrew visited? Maxwell was asked. She responded in the affirmative and, when asked how many times, she said, "I can only remember once." When asked if there were any girls on the island at that time, Maxwell insisted, "There were no girls on the island at all. No girls, no women, other than the staff who work at the house." One document included a deposition given by Johanna Schuberg, whom Maxwell allegedly procured for the purpose of performing sex acts on Epstein. Schuberg said in her deposition that Epstein said one time that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls. In 2019, Clinton's spokesperson Angel Arania denied claims made about Clinton's involvement with Epstein and wrote in a statement on Twitter that President Clinton knows nothing about the terrible crimes Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty to in Florida some years ago, or those with which he has been recently charged in New York. Clinton notably had an 18-month-long affair with Monica Lewinsky, his then 22-year-old intern, during his first term as president. He was 49 years old. Schuberg also said that the late musician Michael Jackson was at Epstein's Palm Beach mansion, and that she met the famed magician David Copperfield. "Did you ever meet anybody famous when you were with Jeffrey?" She was asked. "I met Michael Jackson at Epstein's house in Palm Beach." Asked whether she massaged Jackson, Schuberg said, "I did not." As for Copperfield, Schuberg said that he attended dinner at one of Epstein's homes and he did some magic tricks. "Did you observe David Copperfield to be a friend of Jeffrey Epstein's?" She was asked. Schuberg replied in the affirmative. "Did Copperfield ever discuss Jeffrey's involvement with young girls with you?" She was also asked. "He questioned me if I was aware that girls were getting paid to find other girls." Copperfield, she said in the deposition, didn't tell her any specifics of that question. Did he say whether they were teenagers or anything along those lines? She was also asked. He did not. Donald Trump, whose association with Epstein has been widely reported, was also mentioned in the documents. The former U.S. president is not accused of wrongdoing. In Schuberg's deposition, she said that they went to one of Trump's casinos in Atlantic City when a storm prevented Epstein's plane from landing in New York City. Jeffrey said, "Great, we'll call up Trump and we'll go to, I don't recall the name of the casino, but, we'll go to the casino." Asked at one point whether she ever gave Trump a massage, Schuberg said, "No." The deposition also includes Schuberg's account of allegedly meeting Prince Andrew at Epstein's New York home. "Ghislaine asked me to come to a closet. She just said, 'Come with me.' We went to a closet and grabbed the puppet of Prince Andrew," she said in the deposition. "And I knew it was Prince Andrew because I had recognized him as a person. I didn't know who he was. And so when I saw the tag that said Prince Andrew, then it clicked. I'm like, that's who it is." Schuberg and Maxwell then returned to the living room with the puppet. "I just remember someone suggesting a photo, and they told us to go get on the couch. And so Andrew and Virginia sat on the couch, and they put the puppet on her lap," Schuberg recalled. "And so then I sat on Andrew's lap, and I believe on my own volition, and they took the puppet's hands and put it on Virginia's breast, and so Andrew put his on mine." Schuberg said she went to bed shortly thereafter. "Did you hear Ghislaine Maxwell tell Virginia to do anything while you were in that room?" She was asked. Schuberg replied, "No." Giuffre, who claimed that Epstein and Maxwell forced her into a sexual encounter with Britain's Prince Andrew at age 17, had sued the publishing heiress for defamation after claiming the accuser lied. Giuffre settled her lawsuit against Maxwell in 2017. In 2021, Giuffre sued Prince Andrew over the alleged sexual abuse. The suit settled in early 2022. Andrew has always strenuously denied any wrongdoing. As part of the settlement, he agreed to donate to Giuffre's victims' rights charity. The documents' release is among several tranches of filings in Giuffre's civil case that were unsealed following the Miami Herald's years-long effort to make them public. Giuffre did not make allegations of wrongdoing against Clinton. In one set of documents released in July 2020, Giuffre claimed that Maxwell participated in Epstein's sexual abuse of teen girls. These documents were released several weeks after Maxwell's arrest for her involvement in Epstein's sex trafficking. Giuffre claimed that Maxwell lured her into Epstein's perverse orbit under the false pretense of work as a professional masseuse. Instead, Giuffre said, "Maxwell trained me as a sex slave," according to a filing in that set of unsealed court papers. The documents released in July 2020 also provided insight into Maxwell and Epstein's relationship. In a January 2015 email exchange, Epstein told Maxwell, "You have done nothing wrong and I would urge you to start acting like it. Go outside, head high, not as an sick convict. Go to parties, deal with it." A large collection of documents in Giuffre's civil case were also unsealed in August 2019. Those papers included accusations, since denied, that global leaders were participants in Epstein's trafficking ring. Epstein was arrested on the 6th of July 2019 for sex trafficking. He was found dead in his jail cell on the 10th of August of that year. Authorities determined that he hanged himself. Maxwell was sentenced in June 2022 to 20 years imprisonment. She has maintained her innocence and is appealing her conviction. Asked for comment on the documents unsealing, Maxwell's attorneys, Arthur L. Adala and Diana Fabi Sampson, said, Ghislaine Maxwell took no position on the court's recent decision to unseal documents in Giuffre versus Maxwell, as these disclosures have no bearing on her or her pending appeal. Ghislaine's focus is on the upcoming appellate argument asking for her entire case to dismissed, they also said. She is confident that she will obtain justice in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. She has consistently and vehemently maintained her innocence.